Okay, now our topic is monostable multivibrator. So the name itself indicates it having single stable state. Mono means single, so it having single stable state. So we already know that the multivibrator consists of two states. So if one is stable state, then obviously the second one is quasi stable state. Therefore, monostable multivibrator has one stable state and one quasi stable state. It generates pulse train with desired pulse width. How? Let we see in circuit operation. So here, first start the principle of operation. Here it is normally in stable state. Initially it is in stable state. Whenever a trigger pulse is applied, it switches to quasi-stable state and remains for a while and comes back to stable state automatically without applying any trigger. So initially it is in stable state. To move to or to switch on to quasi-stable states, here we require a trigger pulse, and after some time it come back to stable state. Okay, now coming to circuit diagram. So this is the circuit diagram of monostable multivibrator. The circuit diagram of monostable multivibrator is similar to a stable. Here also I am using two transistors Q1 and Q2. Q1 and Q2. So here the two transistors are in common emitter configuration. That's why emitter terminal is grounded, and we are applying input to the base of the terminals. So the Q1 base terminal is voltage is VB1 and input of Q2 is VB2. The outputs are taken at collector terminals. So the output terminal is VC1 for Q1 and the output terminal for Q2 is VC2. The voltage at Q2 is VC2. Okay, now here we are using two resistors for supplying Q1 and Q2. So the two resistors are RC1, RC2. The suffix C1 indicates that the resistor is connected at collector of the transistor Q1. The resistor are connected at collector of the transistor Q2. Now we are having VCC supply, pass to DC supply. Okay, this is about the circuit. So we already know that in monostable multivibrator we have one stable state and one quasi-stable state. So to move from stable state to quasi-stable state, we need to apply some trigger pulse. So for that I am applying at the input of one of the transistor some trigger pulse. So let us assume that here I am applying the trigger pulse. So this is triggering input. Okay, triggering input. So now here we are applying triggering input for Q1. Now Q2 will be on only through RC network. So for that purpose, for Q2 we required RC circuit. So that's why I am connecting RC circuit here. So this RC circuit turns on the Q2. So here the output of Q2 is connected to input of VB1. So remember that always the circuit should be cross coupled. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram. So this resistor I am naming it as R1. This is the circuit diagram for monostable multivibrator. So let's start the operation. So here the Q1 is on only by applying triggering input. Okay, let us assume that initially I am applying triggering input and pass to supply VCC, then Q1 is on. So first Q1 is on. When Q1 is on, obviously what happened to Q2? Q2 is half. So when Q1 is on, what is the voltages? VC1 is equal to, so the voltages at this moment is equal to VC1 is equal to, what is VC1 now? VC1 is not, it is on, therefore we are getting saturation voltages here. So VC1 is equal to VCE sat. Then what about VB1? What is the VB1 value? VB1 I am applying trigger pulse. So let it be, that is VBE sat. So here I am applying trigger pulse. Trigger pulse. Now what? Next one, what about the currents flowing through is? So it is on. So it is on. Therefore we are getting maximum currents. IC1 maximum of its value, and IB1 is also maximum of its values. Now come on to Q2. When Q1 is on, automatically Q2 is half. Okay. So when Q2 is half, what will be the operation? What is values of these voltages and currents? So when Q2 is half, what about VC2? VC2 value is plus VCC. What is VB2 value? Cutoff voltage of at base terminal, so that is minus VCC. Now what about IC1 and IB1? IC1 is 0. In same way IB1 is also 0. Okay, now what happened? So this is VCC and this one is minus VCC. Here it is on. So at this moment what happened? So let us see. When Q1 is on, what happened? So it acts as a short circuit. Now we are getting a path from VCC to ground through this resistor. VCC to ground through this. So we are getting a closed path. Therefore some current is flowing. Because of that current, the capacitor starts charging. When the capacitor starts charging, so we already know that the capacitor is exponentially charging, okay, with time constant R and C. At that time what happened? The VB2 value is also increases to this capacitor. So VB2 is also increases. So initially what is VB2 value? Initially the VB2 value is minus VCC. Now the capacitor starts charging towards plus VCC. So at one point what happened? So this voltage is applied to VB2. So when VB2 exponentially charging, exponentially charging from minus VCC through RC towards VCC because of capacitor action. What happened at this moment? What happened when VB2 exponentially charging from minus VC through RC towards VCC? So this is possible because of capacitor action. At this point what happened? At one point VB2 becomes VBE. So 0.6 volts. Then what happened? Obviously, so here initially Q2 is half. When VBE input voltage is rises to 0.6 volts, then Q2 will be on. So Q2 is on. So when Q2 is on, then what happened? So now the Q2 is on. So initially Q2 is off. Now Q2 is on. So when Q2 is on, what happened? VC2 value becomes VCE sat. So VC2 becomes VCE sat. What is VCE sat value? Minus 2 volts. This minus 2 volts is applied to Q1. So it is not sufficient for switch on the Q1. So Q2 is on. Q2 is on and this VC2 is applied to Q1. So VB1 becomes VC is at now. So it is also 0.2 volts. Therefore what happened? Q1 is off. Therefore Q1 is off. So Q1 is remains off. Q1 remains off. Q1 remains off up to we are applying external triggering. Applying external trigger. Okay, so whenever we are applying trigger, then what happened? Whenever we are applying trigger, then what happened? Q1 becomes on. When Q1 on, we are getting this path. So then the capacitor starts charging. So up to VBE, the capacitor starts charging. So when it reaches to VBE, again this transistor is turned on. Okay, so this operation is continuous. So initially I am assume that Q1 is on because of the triggering input. When Q1 is on, what happened? Here we are getting VC1 as -2 volts. When it is VC1 as VC is at, so VC is at, that means it is 0.2 volts. So VB2 is 0.2 volts. So obviously Q2 is half. When Q1 is on, what happened? Q2 becomes off. Then what happened? So the capacitor starts charging. At one particular point, what happened? When the capacitor charges to VBE value, what happened? It moves to VBE value, then it moves to on. So it is switched on. When it is switched on, what happened? VC2 becomes 0.2 volts. Then Q1 becomes off. The Q1 becomes half. This will remains half. Why? Because here there is no charging path for the VB1. Therefore it is remains on. It is off till we are applying the triggering pulse. Once we are applying triggering pulse, then it becomes on. Okay, if you are not applying any triggering input, then Q1 remains in on position. Okay, when we are applying triggering, then automatically what happened? Q1 becomes on. Again what happened? This on 0.2 volts will switch off the Q2. Okay, this will continue. So with the help of this operation, let us move on to output waveforms. Okay, so I start with the first one. So same as it is. Here I am consider VC1, VB1 and VC2, VB2, same as usual. But here observe that the VBN we are applying externally. So this is nothing but trigger pulse. So let us start. So I start here with input waves. Okay, so VB1, so this is VB1, next one is VB2. Okay, so T, VB2, and this one is T, this one is VB1. Okay, so next two waves also I am taking. So the next one is output voltage T. So this is VC1. And what about this one? So this is another waveform. This is T and this is VC2. Okay, so here initially I am applying the trigger pulse. Okay, and one more trigger pulse I am applied here. Okay, so at this case what happened? So when VB1 is applied, automatically what happened? The VB1 is applied. So here we are getting the output VC1. So when VB1 is applied trigger pulse, VC1 is equal to VCE sat. So VC1 is on. So this is VCE sat. So at this point, so here I am taking the pulse signal. So let it be, this is the pulse signal. Okay, so this is the time duration T. So here what happened? At this moment VC2 value is plus VCC. So VC2 value is plus VCC. So this is plus VCC. So here we are getting the signal is like this, plus VCC. Now what happened? What about VB2? VB2 is minus VCC. So VB2 value is minus VCC. Now here what happened? VB2 and exponentially charging from minus VCC through RC towards VCC. So it is exponentially charging. Here I am consider one more reference point. So this is VBE. Okay, so it is exponentially charging to VBE. Now what happened? After this point what happened? When VBE is increases to VB2 value is increases to VBE value, then Q2 is on. So Q2 is on. Once the Q2 is on, what about VC2 value? VC2 value is VCE sat. So VC2 value is VCE sat. So here I am taking one more reference value. So that is VCE sat. So now the output of Q2 becomes VCE sat. And what about VC1? VC1 is, once Q1 is half, so Q1 becomes half. Then what about VC1? VC1 becomes plus VCC, plus VCC. So I will take VC1 is equal to plus VCC. So this is plus VCC. Now what happened? That it is remains half, therefore this is continuous, and this one is also continuous, and this one is also continuous. So this process is continuous up to we are applying external trigger. So again when we are applying external trigger at this point, so at this point what happened? The Q1 is on. Once the Q1 is on, what happened to the output voltage? It falls down to VCE sat. So that is 0.2 volts for silicon. Okay, at this point what happened to Q1? Q1 is rises to VCC. So it rises to VCC. So it is not abruptly changed, it is curved. Okay, VCC. So here what happened? VB2 value, it is again falls down to minus VCC. But again due to the circuit of, so when Q1 is on, automatically we are getting a closed path through R and C. Therefore with time constant RC, again it rises its voltage from minus VCC to this value. Once it reaches VBE, again what happened? The Q2 is switched on. So again the VBE value is exponentially rises from this value to this one. Let us take one more waveform here. So at this moment what happened? So whatever may be the VB1, at this moment what happened? When it reaches to VBE, then which one is switched on? Q2 is switched on. When Q2 is switched on, what about VC2? VC2 becomes VCE sat. VCE sat. Then what about this one? When it becomes high to low, obviously it becomes low to high. Okay, so this is the waveforms. Okay, now see all the waveforms once. Now see here from the output waveforms. So in stable state we are not applying any trigger pulse. So here we are not applying any trigger pulse. In stable state the transistor Q1 is in half condition, so it is in plus VCC. The transistor move on to on state on only when we are applying the trigger pulse. When we are applying trigger pulse, the transistor Q1 switched on, so at that moment the transistor T2 is switched off, therefore that voltage across the Q2 is plus VCC. Okay, at that time, in quasi stable time, what happen is, through RC network, the base of the transistor Q2 exponentially charges from minus VCC to VBE. Then what happened, the Q2 is turned on, therefore it moves on to VCE. At that time what happened, Q1 will be half, so Q1 will be half, so that is stable state. Again it move on to quasi stable state only when we are applying the trigger pulse. So initially it is in stable state. Whenever we are applying trigger pulse, then only it move on to quasi stable state. So due to RC network, it move on to stable state. So now coming to derivation part. So the time period of monostable multivibrator. So to derive this, so once again recall the waveforms. So initially the multivibrator in stable state, that means Q1 is off and Q1 is on, therefore Q1 value is Q2 is on, so VC2 value is plus VCE sat, and Q1 is off, therefore VC1 value is plus VCC. Then after applying trigger pulse, after applying trigger, it moves to unstable, that means Q1 is on, so VC1 value is VCE sat and Q2 is off, therefore VC2 value is plus VCC. So this is the were observed from the output waveforms. Now, so here the transistor is become stable to unstable, nothing but quasi stable state only after applying trigger pulse, but it is again come back to stable state with time constant RC. That means, so the multivibrator move from quasi stable to stable state depending on the RC network. So now coming to the charging equation. So generally the charging across capacitor is given by, so what is the equation? Vc of t is equal to V final minus V initial e power minus t by RC. So here we have only one RC network, therefore I am not taking anything. So at t is equal to t, so what is Vc of t value is 0. So what is V final value? Again it is VCC. So V initial value is minus VCC. This is discussed in last class. So substitute all this, then it becomes 0 is equal to VCC minus VCC minus of minus VCC into e power minus t by RC. So now what we are getting, VCC is equal to 2 VCC e power minus t by RC. So VCC get cancelled, 1 by 2 e power minus t by RC. So to make it, this is plus, where reverse the equation, then we are getting 2 is equal to e power plus t by RC. Apply natural logarithm, then we are getting ln of 2 is equal to T by RC. So we are getting T is equal to RC into ln of 2. So what is ln of 2 value? 0.693 RC. So this is the time period of RC network. If you want frequency, then so this is time period, or this one also we name it as pulse width. So if you observe this wave, we are getting so pulses. Here we have pulse, and here we have the duration, and here we have the pulse width. So here the quasi-stable state duration, we call it as a pulse width. After applying, how long we are not applying any trigger pulse, we are not getting anything. So after applying trigger pulse, with depending on RC value, we are getting some pulse. Okay, so this we call it as a pulse trend. Totally we call it as a pulse trend, and here we are define the pulse width. I am representing this pulse width with T. So here instead of time period, here we call it as a pulse width. So the pulse width of monostable, multivibrator is T is equal to 0.693 hours. That's all. So monostable multivibrator generates the pulse train. So it is used as a pulse train generator. And monostable multivibrator is also called as delay circuit. Monostable multivibrator is also called as delay circuit. Why? Because it produces the delay with the help of triggering pulses. So the in between trigger pulse, we are not getting any change in the output, therefore it is also called as a delay circuit. So that is about monostable multivibrator.